Hey guys, this is just going to be a quick video on how to use one of the very popular builds in Diablo 3 for Demon Hunter. And if you don't want to watch the whole thing, then I will put timestamps in the description. So the skills you want to be using are on the screen now. There'll also be a link in the description to the build. Okay, so for gear, really you need the Ring of the Royal Grandeur, which is really good for this build. You need the 6-piece Marauders, and the reason for that is you need the Sentry's Castrol equipped Hatred Spenders. That's the main focus of this build. Other than that, you just want to be going for pretty much the standard physical, crit hit damage, crit hit chance, dex. That's basically attack speed isn't too important for this build. I mean, having a little bit will help, but it won't increase your damage by ridiculous amounts. So if you have the ring, you're obviously only going to need 5 pieces rather than the 6, which allows you to either use Tasker and Theo for gloves, or you could use, if you're going the fire build, you could use the Cinder Coat for your chest piece, or of course you could use Pandaro's Visage for the extra damage % modifier for Helm. Other than that, weapon, ideally you want a slow weapon with high damage range. That'll probably give you the most output for this build. Quiver, there's one quiver, I forget what it's called, which gives you the ability to have 2 extra sentries out, which is really good for this build. Other than that, it's just stack up that cluster arrow damage, sentry damage where you can. Obviously Stone of Jordan is good for this build, as with most builds. Okay, so for Paragon, you want to get obviously the max movement speed, which is 25% on your gear and from Paragon, so whatever you need, put it in there. And the rest you can either put into Dex if you don't need the Vitality, or obviously Vitality if you need the extra Survival. So I'd say about 400k is enough for the higher monster powers, 400k health. So I just put points in that to get that. For offense, you want critical, well, what you want to do is you want to keep your crit hit chance and crit hit damage as close to 1 to 10 as possible. So for every 1 crit hit chance you have, you need 10 crit hit damage. So just keep that as close as possible. And then I just put the rest into cooldown reduction, because it means you can get your sentries out faster, and Wolf is obviously off cooldown quicker. For defense, you probably want to get your all resist to around 1k to 1.1k. That's a good amount to be in. And I chose to go life regen because I didn't need the armor or the life %, and life regen's always very handy. For utility, you probably want to go life on hit, unless you don't need any more, in which case just go for the resource cost reduction. Okay, so earlier I said I go for the physical build of this, and that's because the main damage output is obviously your sentries, and with the 4 set of Marauders you get all of the companions, and they will all scale with physical damage. And also the multi-shot rune for physical does a lot more damage than the fire one, which just launches 3 rockets. So overall, I think the physical one will give the higher damage output, but the fire one's also pretty fun. It doesn't really matter too much at the end of the day. It's just what you prefer. And some of these skills are interchangeable. So if you have the quiver, which lets you have more sentries out, then you won't need custom engineering, so you can swap that out for archery depending on your weapon, or maybe blood vengeance if you feel like you're not getting enough hatred. So that's one. If you don't need the defensives either, you can change out Awareness and Perfectionist for damaging ones, so steady aim, archery, things like that if you need them. One thing I will say though, with the fire build, the cluster arrows will be hitting considerable amount more, but I still do prefer the physical one.
To do that. Not ready yet. Not enough hatred. My hatred is too low.